Understanding the IBP Flowchart. This flowchart visualizes all the key IBP objects, for example, key figures, that are part of the Newell design. Why do you care? There are 833 key figures in the current planning area, and 191 have the word demand in its description. But only 107 key figures are part of the demand planning process. And 6 can actually be edited directly by a demand planner. So for your next query, would you rather select from a list of 800 plus key figures, or better understand this? Let's start with the basics. There is a unique identifier and name in the lower right corner of every process. In this case, 1.3 means that this is the third major step in the demand planning module. This is helpful to know where you are in a complex process, beginning, middle, or end, and how each process relates to each other. A key figure box without a border means that it can be edited by a user who has sufficient security. A key figure with a solid border means that it is not editable. It is either A, calculated from another key figure, as in this example, or B, populated from an application job, usually a data load. The arrows show the flow of the data. In this example, consensus demand quantity is calculated from the collaboration override quantity or the demand planning total quantity. The collaboration override quantity is higher than the total demand planning quantity, so collab would override total demand. An arrow with text, in this case a plus, is used to help explain how the calculation works. In this case, promotion add, sales uplift, is added to the demand planning quantity, statistical forecast adjustment. Let's make this more interesting. Don't panic, this is just a more detailed version of what we saw before. If you see a note, read it. In this case, it is telling you how the majority of the revenue key figures are calculated. If you see a small c inside a key figure box, it means that the change history log has been turned on for this key figure. Not all key figures track change history, and it doesn't make sense to track non-editable ones anyway. Whenever a box is touching another, then they are strongly related to each. In this case, the collaboration override quantity is related to the collaboration override revenue. Critically important key figures can sometimes have a lot of other key figures that are strongly related to them. In addition to the consensus demand quantity being related to the consensus demand revenue, there are a host of additional key figures that are strongly related. For example, consensus demand no promo is just the consensus demand less any promotions. Finally, we use red circles to denote alerts, which are basically true-false key figures. For example, we have an alert when the consensus demand quantity is blank, but there is a sales order history quantity. We use different colors to denote what is the base planning level, or the level at which the data is stored. You can always roll up data by attributes. In this example, the sales uplift quantity is stored at the technical week, product, location, ship to, customer, denoted by at week prod locust, whereas the sales uplift revenue is stored at the technical week, product, location, ship to customer, and currency level. 95% of the time, the data will be at a specific level. For demand planning, it's week prod locust. So whenever you see a new color, you should pay attention. There is an entire section dedicated to master data types and which attributes are relevant for this IBP module. Extra credit. This is the current process as of release 2006. Sometimes there are sub-processes inside other processes. In this case, we have a 1.3.3 automatic recalculation of disaggregation, which is worthy of its own video. If you see a small d, it denotes which key figures are using the automatic recalculation disaggregation process. Anything with a red background also denotes that this is a new change in the current release. This is where 1.3 create consensus demand fits into the overall demand planning process. For those of you who do not have Microsoft Visio, a PDF version is available with each new release. See Project Manager for details.